friends, this is Kristen Fagan here. My easel has been hanging with this painting for the last couple of months and I haven't touched anything. So this month I decided I was gonna try and explore the idea of having more than one painting in progress at the same time. And so I'm gonna start, because usually I work like, especially on my big pieces, I have a lot of little projects going on, but when it comes to the bigger canvases, I just do one at a time generally. And so because I haven't known where to go with this one, I've just been sitting and waiting and I haven't painted. And that's not cool. So I decided this month that that would be something that I'm gonna try and explore, is have more than one piece in progress at the same time. So today we're gonna work on a new layer behind me for a new like freedom exploration layer. And then I'll have two canvases that I can play with. Maybe I'll even throw in some more if I get crazy, because these freedom layers really are so much fun. And sometimes they turn out so well, it's hard to know where to go next. It's easier, I think, when they turn out a little funky and you're just ready to add more to the canvas. It's harder when you really like where it ended up and you're like, now what? All right, so I think I'm gonna try to move my canvas over just a little bit more, if possible. That's better. So one of my workshops is called Free Spirit, and it's one of the ones that I've done in person, and I haven't done it actually in quite a few years. And I have these cards that I had made up that just have watercolor on one side and then a prompt, a creative prompt on the other side. And I would use these in the class as a way to kind of just say, pick a card and let's just do what the card says. Open up that free spirit thinking and just use this to make your next step. So it was kind of a creative prompt when people get stuck, or maybe they're just not sure what they want to do next on their canvas. They would pull from this deck of cards and there would be a prompt to do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to show up with, I have acrylic paint, I have brushes, I have a canvas. This is 24 by 24, but you can use whatever size you have. And so paint, brushes, canvas, water, some rag or paper towels, and collage papers, stencils, stamping materials, pencils. If you want to have any crayon or anything like that, that might be something you can add. But yeah, those are the basics, and there might be some other things that kind of come up. If you have any recycled materials, you can hold on to those. Like I've got an old gift card or some toilet paper rolls or pens, forks and knives and plastic forks and knives, things like that. Similar to our freedom layer, but we're gonna go on the prompts and we're just gonna let the prompts lead the way, and we're gonna have a timer so that we only use 2 minutes to do each prompt. And it should be a lot of fun and open you up to just experiencing what happens and taking away the idea of having to really think about it too much. You just get your prompt, you have 2 minutes and you gotta just start, right? So I really like the addition of the timer on there for that reason. So you don't have to think about it much. I have a few paints that I picked up in a color palette that's a little more on the neutral side or earthy side than what I typically use. And so I think I'm gonna open up these and work with these first and see where it goes. So not only will I explore these prompts, but I'm gonna explore using possibly a color palette that is a little bit different for me. So I've got here, this color is called Chili Powder. It is like a soft red. This one is Mango. This one is Caramel, so it's like a caramelly light brown. And this one is Moss Green. And then as we go, I may add in some other acrylic paint colors too, but I thought maybe it would be fun to just start and explore with some colors that are not my typical colors on the canvas. Check out this palette. Does anyone else have a palette that looks like this? This is like all crusted on here, and I've used both sides. I'm trying to figure out at what point do I hang this one up and start a new one. I really like the size and the flatness of this kind of a thing though. I think I'll use this side, it's a little less heavy. Okay, so I've got paint on my palette here ready to go. And I'm gonna get my timer ready and we'll start with our first prompt. So I'll pull a card, read it, and then I will start it. Okay, so, oh, right out of the gate, I got paint with your fingers. So we're just gonna jump right in and start finger painting. All right. So you can do this any way you want to, right? There's no wrong way. You can load up some paint on one of your fingers, on multiple fingers. You could do 2 different colors. Maybe I'll do 3 different colors. So I've got one on each, and you can just think about how you want to add it to your canvas. You can dot it. Like I'm doing there, you can drag it. Oh, I didn't set my timer. Forgot already. Ooh, let's see. All right, that was just the first one. So timer is set. All right. Okay, nice rag over here, clean your fingers off. Just dry at this point, a dry rag, and that works just fine. So that was a fun way to get started. Let's see what we get next. Just gonna kind of shuffle. All right, so next I got create line variation with pressure. So what that means is while you're holding your brush, apply different levels of pressure. Push down really hard, pull back and push really, really lightly, barely touching the canvas, and just change up the variation of line in that process. Okay, so let me make sure I set my timer again. And go. So push down real hard. And then push down really lightly, barely touching. And your lines don't have to be straight. All right. Done with that one. Let's pick our next prompt. What are we gonna explore next? So we explored painting with our fingers, changing up the pressure, variation of line. Next is gonna be use the wooden end of a foam brush as a stamp. So let me share with you. So this is a foam brush. There's different sizes and of these foam brushes, but if you see on the opposite side, you just have it's like a wooden dowel that you can use as a stamp. Okay, let's go. Let's see what color I want to pick this time. So you can either load up your stamp after every one if you want to make a really thick little dot, or you can let it sort of fade as you stamp. So that's your first stamp is kind of full of paint, and then as you go, it fades. And then you could just wipe off the end of your little dowel for next time. Let's see where we go with this. All right, so this time we're gonna take our brush and we're gonna skip the brush down the canvas to make a series of patterns. So I'm gonna grab I think I'm gonna grab this really big one and see what happens with this. Use some of my mango color. So what that means is we're just gonna load up our brush with some paint. Like so. And when we say skip, we're just gonna like touch the canvas, like skipping a rock, right? You touch the canvas and then you kind of lift it up, or as you're dragging it down, you're kind of changing the variation of pressure. So skip the brush down your canvas to make a series of patterns. I'm gonna go, so you're kind of just letting it skip as you pull the brush down. So you're touching and lifting and touching and lifting. Probably should keep it in a straight line, but you know, rules are made to be broken. And I didn't set the timer. Oh, this timer. I should probably take a minute off since I didn't set it at the right time. Let's pick a different color. That's a little too similar. Let's try this one. And you can obviously use all different shapes and sizes of brush. Doesn't have to be that large. I just picked up the big one. All right, that was a lot of skipping. Let's see what's next. What are we gonna explore next? Use the sides of a flat brush to make a rainbow shape. Use the sides of a flat brush to make a rainbow shape. So here is a flat brush. And where am I going to put a rainbow shape? I think I'll put one right here. I'm just going to make the shape all in the same color for now, but you can interpret it in different colors. I think I'll do another. Maybe I'll do it from the side over here. If I still have more time, maybe I'll do an upside down rainbow. Right, what's left? What is next? Next, I have add some collage pieces of paper to your canvas. So let me pull out some collage paper and some glue. I probably should have my timer on me for this because this actually probably takes the most time deciding which paper to use. Oh, that's fun too. All right, I'm gonna set my timer on now so that I make a choice. I have this paper, which is pretty nice, from a magazine, which I think that actually would be pretty cool on there. Okay, let's take these down for a sec. Could use one of these foam brushes with the glue. Now I know a lot of people love to start their canvas with collage paper or add paper throughout the process. I don't do it very often, so this is kind of new for me to have something like this down here. All right, we'll see what happens. And I think I want to take some of this I think I want to add a piece of this paper too. I'm going to cheat and I'm going to glue down a few more things just because I don't usually do this. And I feel like I should give it a try. Oh, I got it upside down. And I did really like this on there, but I don't know if it's just too much. Yeah, I'll leave it off for now, especially since my time is up. I'll think about that adding later. All right, what's next? What's next? So what is next? All right, etch. So that means I have to add a little bit of paint area, like a spot that's got a nice amount of thick paint so I can etch into it. It says etch an image you see in the room, a plant, a window, a bowl, etc. So anything you see in the room, etch an image you see in the room. So I will start that, and I need to add some paint. Let's add see, I already have a bunch of this color here, so let's add a nice chunk of it right there. And then what is something that I see in the room? You can just use the back of a small thing here. What's something I see in the room that I can etch? I see some feathers. Let's etch a feather. I feel like I want to come back and add a different color. Maybe this on top. That's better. So that might be hard for you to see from far away. Share just an etching, kind of a feather happening right there. So I'm gonna go for about 5 more minutes or so. I've been exploring this canvas back here with some more natural earth tones, which I don't usually gravitate towards, especially in the beginning of a painting. So I explored with some new color palette, and I'm pulling cards from my deck of cards that have some creative prompts on them, and they are just something I made years ago, and they're just on index cards. I just put a little watercolor wash on the front just so I can kind of shuffle them and pull out a card. And then I've been setting the timer and doing 2 minutes based off of the prompt that I get here. And so we'll just do a couple of more. So let's see if it's, probably do about 3 more, and then I'll call it a day. As you see, it's kind of wild and crazy and been fun to explore some new things, maybe some prompts I kind of forgot about, and then things like collage I very rarely utilize, so that was fun to add that into the mix. Let's see what our next one is. Next one is the next one's gonna have me looking around the room again. So this one says, look around the room and loosely draw something with your brush. Don't worry about what it looks like. So let's see. So I already did a feather right there. I wouldn't mind doing another feather though with a brush this time, just to have some more of the same subject. Maybe I'll grab, maybe I'll try this color here. I think I'll grab a smaller brush, and I'm gonna loosely and lightly draw so that I don't worry too much about what it looks like. And I'll do another feather, and maybe I'll do something else that I see. Where should we put it? Let's see if there's anything else I want to draw that I see in this room. All right, so we'll stop with that one and pull another. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it, Lori? I like, I've used these cards in my workshops, in-person workshops, for times when someone gets stuck or they want to do something new and they're just not sure what to do next, or they just want to loosen up and take the guesswork out of it. So our next one is hold the brush loosely and paint curvy organic lines. Hold the brush loosely and paint curvy organic lines. I feel like I need to add a little white to my palette just so I can get a different value in here, because it's getting hard to, you just use those same 4 colors and not, it's getting hard to. This might be a fun color to add too. This is a very light pink. Let me add that since I just caught my eye. All right, so start my timer and I'm gonna paint loose, curvy, organic lines. And what seems like a nice brush for that? Maybe just a nice round brush. Loose, curvy, organic lines. Ooh, I like that color. It's like a nice sagey green. That's fun. twirl it around. Kind of make your brush real loose in your hand. See how I started out like very controlled curving it, and now I'm trying to just let the brush do the twisting. We'll do some over here in that green. I like that one. That was fun. All right, let's do one more. Locate pockets of color and add in a pattern. Oh, that is a good one to end off with. So I will find some pockets of color and add in a pattern. And I think I'll use this white since that'll be easy to see. So what does that look like? So there's a little tiny pocket of color up in this corner. So I can add in a little pattern up there. Well, let me start my timer. 2 minutes. So I can kind of come over here and add a little pattern inside that little pocket of color. Just like so. And then I'll do that again. I'll find another pocket of color, which I see one right here. And you can add in a little pattern. And then let's find another one. I would say here's kind of a little pocket of color. And it doesn't have to be, I'm using kind of the same pattern right now. I'm just adding these little dots. It doesn't have to be the same pattern, you just change it up. Have any pockets of color here? Right there looks like one. All right, I am done. I am done for today. Let me take it off the canvas and just show you what we end up doing. Let's see. So I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go from here, but I think that this little collage paper might be a nice jumping off point. We'll see about what I continue to make on this canvas. But this is a fun start, great background, little freedom layer, exploration layer. So I encourage you to do the same, and maybe you'll watch this video on replay and follow along and do the prompts with me and share what you make here in the group. I'd love to see it. Until then, I hope you'll continue to explore the rest of this month and look for new ways to get out, maybe explore your surroundings, explore your studio, explore your materials, however it's calling for you when you hear the word explore, what you want to do. And I'll be here in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure if it'll be 2 weeks. I have to look at the calendar, but I'll post up our next event for October as soon as I know when that will be.